Hey everybody, welcome back to the Collaboration Church YouTube channel. I'm Joy, and here is your Collab Kids devotional, and here's Jonah part 2. Are you ready? So do you remember what happened last week when Jonah part 1? So remember, God told Jonah to get up and to go preach God's message in Nineveh, and instead, where did he go? Not Nineveh, he went to Tarshish, the weird city with the weird name, right? And so when he flew there, well, he didn't fly because there were no planes then, but he went there and he took a boat to try to get to Tarshish, right? And then what happened? God sent a huge storm, right? And they couldn't find their way at sea. They couldn't go forward, they couldn't go backward, and all the sailors were so distraught, they started calling out to their gods with the little g, right? Trying to figure out what was happening. And then they all cast the lots and figured out it was Jonah. Jonah was the reason why the storm came. And so they woke him up out of his nap, right? And said, come on, man, call out to your God, and maybe, just maybe, the storm might stop. But we know that Jonah worships God with a big G, right? So he was like, guys, it's my fault. I was supposed to go to Nineveh. God told me to go to Nineveh, and my hard-headed self came on this boat trying to get to Tarshish. You know what, just throw me in the sea. And they were like, that sounds kind of sketch. Don't know if we should throw people in the ocean, especially when there's a big dangerous storm. But they did it anyway. And guess what? God stopped the storm. And then what happened? God sent a great fish to swallow Jonah whole. And so now we're in chapter 2. So I'm on my Bible app again. Remember, Jonah is in the Old Testament, and it's spelled Jonah, in case you're still learning to read or you're learning to spell. And if you can't find Jonah, remember, use your table of contents or ask somebody to help you. So Jonah chapter 2, at the bottom of the sea. Then Jonah prayed to his God from the belly of the fish. He prayed, in trouble, deep trouble, I prayed to God. He answered me from the belly of the grave. I cried, help! You heard my cry. You threw me into ocean's depths, into a watery grave with ocean waves, ocean breakers crashing over me. I said, I've been thrown away, thrown out of your sight. I'll never again lay eyes on your holy temple. Ocean gripped me by the throat. The ancient abyss grabbed me and held tight, and my head was all tangled in seaweed at the bottom of the sea where the mountains take root. I was as far down as the body can go, and the gates were slamming shut behind me forever. Yet you pulled me up from that grave alive. Oh God, my God, when my life was slipping away, I remembered you, God, and my prayer got through to you, made it all the way to your holy temple. Those who worship hollow gods with a little g, God frauds, walk away from their only true love. But I'm worshiping you, God, with a big G, calling out in thanksgiving. And I'll do what I promised I'll do. Salvation belongs to God. Then God spoke to the fish, and it vomited up Jonah on the shore. Ew. So Jonah gets swallowed by a great fish. Now, just what kind of fish do you think can swallow a person whole? Don't worry, I'll wait. Let's think. It could be a whale. Maybe a dolphin. I don't know, dolphins might be too small. So it's probably like a whale kind of fish, right? So Jonah got swallowed by this huge, great fish. And in the last chapter, we know Jonah was told to go to Nineveh to preach, but instead he ran away to Tarshish, right? So Jonah ended up being tossed in the sea. And so we know what happened. And getting swallowed by this great fish has to be incredibly disgusting, right? Like, what do you think being swallowed by a fish feels like? Probably sticky and icky and slimy. Eek, pretty disgusting. All right, so Jonah was in this dark, disgusting belly of this fish, right? And Jonah feels like this could be the end forever. He'll never be able to go to church again. He'll never be able to go to school again. He'll never see his friends. He'll never ever again be able to check his Instagram, right? Because he's in the belly of this fish. And then Jonah is praying to God this entire chapter. And he says, God, I know what I promised you. I know I promised my entire life to you, to the teaching of your word and your message and your love. God, you're still awesome, and I will still worship you, and I will still serve you. And that's what Jonah was praying in the belly of a fish, right? How hard could that be? Like being in a disgusting fish, still worshiping. Jonah was a trooper. And then God told the fish, you know what, spit Jonah out. The Bible says the fish vomited Jonah onto the seashore. Okay, well, let's refocus that. So what do we learn from this, right? We learned that the inside of a fish is really disgusting. Absolutely, we all knew this. But you might find yourself in some pretty interesting situations when you aren't obedient to God. Remember last week we talked about maybe God has told you to do something special and we don't know how we might feel about it. We might be nervous, scared, excited, confused. But if we're not obedient, we might find ourselves in some pretty interesting situations just like Jonah. But even in those situations, God still makes sure that you're safe and kept until whatever comes next. And not only that, but remember, wherever you go, God goes with you. So here's something to talk about while you're riding the car, while you're brushing your teeth, or picking out your clothes for school in the morning. So, have you ever found yourself in a sticky situation when you didn't do what God told you to do? Or have you found yourself in a sticky situation when you didn't do what your parents tell you to do? Pretty sticky. It can get really sticky. But watch next week's video to learn what happens next. Bye guys. Hey guys, thank you so much for visiting again to our Collaboration Church YouTube channel. Please make sure that you ring the bell or click on the bell, whatever you need to do to make sure that you get notified every single time we upload a video. Also, make sure you subscribe. Of course, Collab Kids, make sure that you have your parents' permission to do all of this. Give us a like, give us a share, give us a comment, and someone will definitely respond to you. Also, you can follow us on Instagram at Collaboration Church. We're on Twitter at Collab Church, and we're on Facebook. So you can literally find us everywhere. Also, for more information, you can visit our website at collaborationchurch.com. Cool? We're good? Are you sure? Did you subscribe? I'm gonna give you time.